How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone had a good day today. Positive, did something constructive, get out, met some people, felt good about the day. Every day's going to be like that, hopefully, moving forward. Um, I want to discuss something. I'm actually feeling really good about a lot of stuff lately. I've been contemplating this. Everybody knows that I'm going through a divorce. It's imminent. So, a couple of months, but I think I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about having it expedited, to be honest with you, because I know I'm going to go through a divorce. And I mean, what's really the point of me waiting it out a couple months? I feel like I'm ready to move forward personally. Because I feel pretty good and nothing's been really, it hasn't really been bothering me what's going on lately. I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, but I'm feeling good enough to where I feel like I want to get this thing over with because I want to, just proceed with my life. And I'm sure she does too. Move on, we want to move on. Um, so I've been thinking about having her expedited. I mean, it's going to hurt, but I think it's going to be for the best. I think that it's probably something that she's probably looking forward to. So why wait? To be honest with you, it's not like for me. I know I'm going to go through a divorce. It's not like there's a possibility, a chance that we're going to reconcile. It's not going to happen, especially when she's with someone else. If she wasn't with someone else and had the ability to get back with her, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't even be talking about this right now, right? But for some of you that are going to go through a divorce, I mean, it's something you might want to consider, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, if you know you're not going to get back together, why prolong it, right? I mean, think about it. Why prolong it? If you know you're not going to get back together, why prolong it? Another 3, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, because I mean, you can end it, sooner than later and get it out the way, right? This is for those who know that it's over. Okay, not for the ones that have a possibility of getting back together. Let's say you separated, but you're not contemplating getting a divorce. You just you know, moved out temporarily to your parents' house, friend's house, whatever. But you guys are not talking about divorcing. It's not for you. This is for the people who know that they're gonna get a divorce, like I am. So I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, and I'm thinking about having it expedited because there's no sense of really waiting. I mean, really, what's the point? I think I need to move forward. Like I said, I feel good. I want to go on a vacation in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, come back fresh, um, start a new life, right? For those of you that are going to get divorced, you want to start a new life, a new chapter in your life. And that's what it's all about. Obviously, you're going to do it with a heavy heart. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be upset and everything like that. And I might shed a tear or two. I don't know. I know I'm going to be hurt, but I think it might be for the best for me personally because, just waiting around for it, just going to make you feel worse, I think. It's going to make me feel bad. It's like, you know, waiting around for an execution. You know when the date is, so if you can't avoid it, it's going to happen. You know, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good, analogy. But I mean, what's the point really of like waiting, for your marriage to get dissolved? Because, like I said, for me, it's a pretty much done deal. So I think that this is something I've been, I spoke with a few people too, and they also said that that might be something you might want to do, especially if you're not going to get back together. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I'm going to probably call her tomorrow or text her tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be texting because she never really answers the phone. You know, she doesn't want that kind of communication. I think she likes the texting communication, um, and um, and I'm fine with that. And I think I'm going to tell her tomorrow just to expedite it. That way, I can feel better about myself, start moving forward. Because, once it's, you're just waiting. This pending divorce, it's just a waiting game, and it's kind of killing me a little bit. I feel like I need to like just have closure. My wife never gave me closure. She never really did. She never told me anything, why she did it or anything like that. I mean, I know why she did it, but there was no closure. So I think this is something, I mean, for me to have closure, I think this is something I need to do because she's not going to give it to me. Most women are not going to give it to you. Most men probably will, but I don't think most women are going to give you closure. They're just going to move on and let you deal with it, to be honest with you. Um, so for me, I think this is going to be closure. I think this is something I need. Um, for those of you that are going through the same thing, I mean, I think that's something you need to reconsider, to be honest with you, because, the faster it's here, the faster it's gone. You can start healing, right? And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, healing, moving forward, moving on, here and here, right? Because, at the end of the day, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just nothing you can do about it. Like I said, if for those people who are not going to go through a divorce, this isn't for you. And I hope you reconcile with your significant other. I really do. Um, I mean, if you listen to some of my videos and watch them, you're taking my advice and it's kind of working out for you, man, that's great. That's what I want. That's great, because if I can help just one person, I'll be happy about it. If any of my videos help one person, then my channel was worth it. It was worth to make this channel here and help someone save their marriage. It really is. But for those of us who are actually going to go to a divorce, this is going to benefit everybody, to be honest with you, especially you, whoever's on the receiving end, and I'm on the receiving end of this. This is probably something I need to do, obviously. It's just, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, and I spoke to a couple of people, and everybody was like, if you know that you're going to get a divorce, just, expediting it might be something you might want to consider. We can get over it. You can start healing. You can start moving forward. You're not looking back. Just have a line of communication with your significant other, because you have kids. Well, I have a kid, but I mean, and for those of you that don't have a kid, this is good too. This could be a good thing. It don't have to be a bad thing. And you don't have to be enemies either. Remember that. You don't have to be enemies. You can leave on a good note. You can have go to a coffee shop and have, coffee or dinner, whatever, and talk and say, listen, I'm sorry that it didn't work out. I wanted to, but, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. And, I don't want to be enemies with you, because, we share something together, and I'm going to keep the memories of that, that marriage intact, and learn from it. But, just you take care of yourself, and if you ever need me for anything, always, just call me. I'd be more than happy, to respond to your call. It's that simple. It really is. You don't have to be enemies. I mean, unless something crazy happened and someone left on a sour note, because of cheating or something like that. Just lying a lot, gambling habits, and there's a lot of reasons. I don't want to go into that specifics. Just there's a lot of reason why, but you don't have to be enemies, because obviously when you marry, it's a little different than being boyfriend and girlfriend. You shared something together for a long time, and at the end of the day, it just didn't work out, right? You know, I was just watching something yesterday where a couple after 25 years decided to get a divorce. You know, but they waited till their kids were old enough. Which is, you know, some people want to do that, but I mean, I don't think I would want to do anything like that because they probably wasted 10 years of their life when they could have been with somebody else. They could have been with Mr. Right or Mrs. Right at that particular time, 10 years earlier, right? I don't think I'm a person that would want to stick around for my kid to be older to get a divorce. You got to just, you know, get it done because you have to live your life too. You have to live your life too. Your kids are always going to be part of your life. You know, you don't have to be a husband to be a father, and vice versa. You don't have to be a wife to be a mother. That's it. You know, you're going to always be mom, and you're always going to be dad, and that's it. But you know, you should leave on a good note. I think it's important to leave on a good note. So that's something I've been contemplating, and I wanted to share that with you guys. See if that might be something you might want to be interested in too, to be honest with you, because like I said, if you know 100% that it's done, you might want to expedite it because, you know, it could be a year. In the state of Maryland, you have to wait a year, be separated a year before you can get a divorce. And, you know, it's, a year's a long time, you know. A year's a long time, especially if they're seeing someone else. I'm not saying that people can get back together, obviously, and sometimes people fool around even after they're like separated and still get divorced. But I mean, if you're 100% certain that it's done, this is something you might, you know, reconsider. You know, like I said, for me, I think I'm going to call her tomorrow, text her tomorrow, and tell her, so let's just expedite it. You know, I'm going to say it with a heavy heart. Don't get me wrong, but I'm feeling good enough to where this is something I want to do. Like today, I was busy all day today. You know, I didn't think about my wife that much at all. You know, which is a good feeling. You know, I went across the street to my neighbor's house, older lady, real nice lady, and I was over there for 3 hours cleaning her carpet as a favor. You know, just. I didn't charge her or anything like that. I just did it because she was going to send it out and it was going to cost her a lot of money. I'm like, well, you know, I got a carpet cleaner here. And let me, you know, and hung out there for like 3 hours, talked to her while I was cleaning her carpet. It was great. You know, she gave me some advice, older lady. She was married for like 50-something years. And she was like, you know, that's something that you should consider. Why wait if you know it's over, right? So that's something I wanted to share with you guys. But also, don't forget, for those of you that are going through it now, obviously there's going to be some tough times ahead. Tough, real tough. That's why you got to have a support system. Your family, your friends. You know, those are your support system. A therapist. You know, you can FaceTime therapists these days. You don't even have to leave the house. That's what I used to do. Every week, FaceTime. You know, you know, read some books on coping skills and how to deal with a separation and, you know, pending divorce, stuff like that. Those are good. I mean, literature is good. You can read it, you know, understand it, you know, absorb it a little bit more. And, you know, you can, at the end of the day, you can make a sound decision on what you really want to do. It's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, you know, this is something I'm going to be preaching like every day. It's going to be hard. This is why I'm making these videos, because every day someone is about to go through the same thing that you went through. And we're talking about there's a vast amount of people. We're not just talking about here in the States. We're talking about on the planet, because, you know, when it comes to geography, it applies to everyone on the planet. And, you know, it's good to get the word out, give people advice, you know, watch these videos. It could be, you know, like I said, it's good advice. You don't have to pay for it, you know, so And I hope you learn from your mistakes, and you'll know what not to do next time you get involved with someone, especially if you're contemplating, getting married. This is, for me, without a doubt, I am not the same person I was last year. I'm not. I know that it's not, I can't be that person. I can't be getting involved in a relationship every 10, 11, 12 years. It just doesn't work. I'm getting a little older. I want to settle down with the right person. I thought my wife was the right person, but obviously my behavior caused me to be in this position right now. So this is why when I climbed out of that hole I was in, I realized I have to change everything about me. Everything. A lot of times, it starts when you're young, living at home. I grew up with one parent, so my mom, and my mom was she wasn't there a lot. This is probably why my coping skills are not great. My wife used to say all the time, you got to deal with your coping skills. You have just baggage, kind of, so to speak, from when you were young, and probably so. I think my upbringing affected my marriage, I guess, because it just if you never address the problem, it's always going to be there. And I should have known that. I've been in a couple of relationships the last 26 years, and it seems like it's like clockwork. Every 10, 11, 12 years, I'm in another relationship. Which is too bad. I know that when I met my wife, I thought that was going to be the last person I was going to be with, to be honest with you, man. But I had, I had some coping skills I needed to deal with, and I didn't deal with them like I should have. This is why my wife, she checked out. And if I would have just done everything she asked me to do, I'd be married. I'd still be married. I won't be living here, in a home that I'm grateful for, but I'm sad in. But what are you going to do at the end of the day, right? You have to learn from it, and hopefully, in my next relationship that I get involved, next serious relationship that I get involved in, I'm going to know what not to do. It's a learning curve. I'm definitely going to learn from this. I am not that same person, and I'm guarantee you that your significant other is going to see that, whether it's a year or two. If you change, you have to be really sincere about changing. And if you change and you're no longer that person, they're going to know. They're going to see it, okay? And they're going to be like, why couldn't he have done that when we're together? But you could rekindle it. I'm not saying you can't never get back together even after you get divorced. Like I said, the percentage is very little, very small, but it happens. I don't think mine will, but and you might not want to get back together. You might say, "Listen, man, it just you got hurt so much for so long that you might not want to get back in that relationship again." To be honest with you, you have to deal with your emotional immaturity, because at the end of the day, that's what it was. Emotional immaturity. And that would cause your relationship. It will. That's what my wife used to always say. You got to deal with your coping skills. You have emotional immaturity. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But I got it now. I know what she meant. And now it's like, it's too late. But and for those of you that are going to go through some difficult time ahead, let's say you're separated, but you're not contemplating getting a divorce. It's a wake-up call. This is going to be a wake-up call. I hope you're watching this video, and I'm telling you, you need to absorb what I'm about to tell you, okay? Stop the silliness. Stop the pettiness. Don't argue over dumb, petty stuff, especially if you love your wife and you don't want to get divorced. Just stop the pettiness. Walk away, go outside, vent, take a ride, walk or something, go to the gym. Stop arguing over petty stuff. You're going to lose your marriage. And don't ever stop sleeping in the same bed. All right? I tell people that all the time. Don't ever stop sleeping in the same bed, even if you're mad at each other, okay? Because, that's when you create a bond. You wake up and, things, she's not going to be as mad as she's going to be. And you can talk about it. You sleep in another room or whatever, it's just going to, probably piss her off more. Or she's going to know why you're there. And, it might take a couple days for her to vent. But in the meantime, you're having friction. So, that's what I wanted to say. So, the point of this, video here is contemplating an expedited divorce. That's something you might want to consider because, for me, that's what I've been thinking about it, and I think it would be best for me to just get it over with. Me knowing that I'm not getting back my wife, so that's something you might want to reconsider. This is why I'm making these videos so you can get it out there, we can talk about it, because at the end of the day, you're still going to need someone to talk to. This isn't a flip of a switch over here. It doesn't just happen like that. You can't just go and it's game over, boom, you're gone. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot involved, especially if you have children. So, please, again, like I always say, subscribe to my channel. It's important. I want to get this out there. People are going to need people to talk to. They want to watch this video. It's very important for them, especially if you don't have a support system. Hit that notification, ring that bell, share it. Give me a like, because the more people that I get, listen, if I just help one person, I'm happy. If someone can rekindle their marriage and save it because they watched a few videos, and it struck a nerve with someone, and they're changing their ways, and not just to get them back, but to do it permanently, then, I did my job. That is why I'm making these videos. So please, and also watch some of my other videos that I have, the long ones and the short ones. I have I cover a lot of stuff on there. It's really important to watch some of those videos because it might resonate with you, to be honest with you, because some of my videos that I made, I talk about certain topics, what to do, what not to do, what to expect, what you should do, stuff like that. I cover a lot of topics, so that's something you want to check out too. Check out the videos, long ones and short ones, and hopefully you can, take some advice from it and be able to salvage your marriage. That would be great. Okay, so listen, I'm going to leave you guys right now. You guys be strong up here, right? Be strong here, as always. Stay focused. That's what you want to do. Stay focused. Good vibes, good energy. Make sure you have a support system, family, friends, therapy, books. Get out of the house, work out. If being home stresses you out, just vent, get out the house, watch some movies and stuff like that. But I will leave you guys for now, but I'm going to definitely make another short video tomorrow morning. But leave a comment too as well. Leave a comment because I always reply to all my comments, all right? And don't be afraid to leave a comment because I get back. It's not a sign of weakness or anything like that because, a man or woman, we're all vulnerable. And we need somebody to talk to, okay? So just leave a comment and I'll reply as soon as I can. In the meantime, you guys take care of yourself up here and here and stay strong. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and have a good night. Be safe and be strong.